Hello, everyone. My name is Cullen Hiltner. This is my Greek digital story. There's a lot of pictures and videos to get through, so let's get into it. This was Bo when he first got into Athens. He put his speeders on and was ready to go, but it did not last long as he crashed on the bus after a long travel day. These are some of the boys in the street. This is when we got to our hotel in Athens. This was technically our kind of our first day or evening. This was the view from the balcony, I guess the roof of our hotel. You could see the Acropolis here, which is pretty cool. This was my first dinner of the trip. It was cod with a garlic sauce, which I think was just mashed potatoes, but either way, it was very good. And this was another picture of the Acropolis at night. This was when we were walking back to the hotel after dinner. The next day, we had a tour of the Acropolis Museum. This is a picture of the Acropolis at a certain point in time. There's many of them. This is when we actually hiked up to the Acropolis. This was a theater that was on the way up that is actually still used today. This was one picture of the Parthenon, and this is the other side, which doesn't have the scaffolding, which makes it look a lot better. And then we had our first group dinner this night. This is a picture of one of the meat plates we got. Super good, ton of food, and great company. This was the next day. We had a tour where we got to see bees up close and personal, and we had to wear some protective gear, which was pretty funny. This was our kind of our main guy. He was great. Showed us the bees, was super calm, which also helped us kind of stay chill when they were kind of flying around. And then we got to go to their small little shop and try a bunch of their honey samples. I thought all of them were actually really good, so that was a cool experience. This is when we hiked up. I believe it was the tallest point in Athens. You could see the original Olympic kind of stadium there. And then there was a restaurant on the top that we ate at. This was my view. I had some fish, a little mojito there. Can't complain too much about that. And then for dinner, I had a margarita pizza. This was my first pizza on the trip. Um, I thought it was amazing. Some guys weren't too thrilled about it, but I thought it was very good. The next day, this was on the way to Naflio. We stopped by Orange Grove. This is kind of the picture I took from their house here. And then this is another picture of their house. This was super cool. We got to have cookies and make our own orange juice. And then this is a picture of the beach in Naflio where Rude lost his wallet, but eventually found it. So this was a picture of the boys down by the water. We had dinner and drinks down by the ocean with a pretty sunset, so it was a great night. This was the next day. We had our first olive oil tasting. Got to try 3 different samples and have some food with it and buy some to take home, which was great. This is a little video of some of their trees, kind of the view from the little farm they got going on. This is also a kind of a funny little bit. This was when we were back in Athens, and this woman was kind of doing a little like puppet show here, which was interesting, but kind of cool to see. And then this was our dinner that night. It was kind of like a teriyaki chicken with some rice. It doesn't really look super appetizing, but it actually tasted very good. And then this was our plane when we went to Crete. I've never been on a plane this small. It was only 2 seats on each side, which is kind of a neat experience. This is when we got there. I took a picture with Mickey in the street because I thought it'd be kind of funny, but I ended up having to pay him €5. So I learned my lesson there pretty quick not to do that again. The first kind of evening there, we went on a glass bottom boat and went snorkeling. Got to see some cool fish, kind of hang out with the group, listen to some music, see some sunsets. It was beautiful. This is a video I took out on the boat. As you can see, kind of a perfect night. Settle into Crete, get our bearings, and really enjoy all the island had to offer. This is a picture of us on the boat. After snorkeling, we're pretty played out, but again, was super cool. And then this was my dinner that night. I kind of got out of my comfort zone with this one. This was a sea bream, but I've never had it prepared like this, but tasted amazing, especially with that lemon drizzled on it. The next day, we had our second olive oil tasting. This one wasn't as authentic as the first one, but nonetheless was interesting, and was able to also try some of their olive oil. We dipped bread into it, and they had some infused ones that were delicious. I ended up buying 3 of them to bring home. After that, we went up to a sheep farm, kind of in the mountains, and here they're ready to be milked, which we had the opportunity to do if you wanted to. And then kind of our guy here made some cheese for us on the spot. It's kind of like a cottage cheese. I wasn't a fan of it. It was served warm. If it was cold, I think I would have liked it better, but still fun to try and kind of get out of my comfort zone again. And then we had some kind of more normal cheese, I guess, with honey and olive oil drizzle on it. We had some bread there, and some shots. So that was a good way to kind of close that out. And then we ended the night kind of down by the water, which was a good way to end the day. This was the next day. We had a kind of an authentic dinner with this family, which was great. As you can see here, we got to take a tour of their garden where they grow all their ingredients kind of on site. So they're super fresh, nothing added to it. This is a video. I don't even know what this is called, but you put rice and some other things into that leaf there, and then you cook it. Tastes amazing. That was one of my favorite foods I had when I was there. And this is a video of the same woman rolling out some dough. These were kind of like cream cheese wontons. I don't know what these were called either, but they also tasted super good. There was like cheese in the middle, and they were fried, and we helped make them, so it makes them taste even better. And then this was our dinner at their restaurant. This was our group leader Marina doing, I think it was some cultural dance. She explained it after, but it was pretty loud in the restaurant, so I didn't hear exactly what she said, but it was cool to see her kind of loosen up a little bit. And then they also had live music, which was really cool. This was the best group dinner by far. Kind of brought us all closer together, I thought. And then the next day we had a ferry ride out to a lagoon, which was really cool. Turquoise waters, super beautiful. Never seen anything like it. Probably the most beautiful place that I've ever seen in person. Here's another view of the water and the scenery, kind of surrounded by mountains, which was awesome. We also had the opportunity to hike up to an old Venetian castle, which offered this view. Can't beat it. It was super hot out, so it was kind of a grind to get up there. But once you reach the top and got into the wind, it was unreal in this view. I mean, you can't beat that either. So this was, I think, the best part of the trip here. And then um, some of us threw a rock in the water for our buddy Mac as well. So that was a really cool moment and something I'm glad I could be a part of. And then that night I had this fish dinner. This was really good. The portion was kind of small, but the restaurant was super cool and tasted really good after a long day. This is when we got to Thessaloniki. This is some cool kind of art on the side of a building there. That tends to be pretty famous there. Also walked through the market. This was some of the seafood we saw out. These were some pig heads. That was actually kind of gross, but kind of cool to see, I guess. I've never seen that. Some fruits and vegetables, which looked very good. And then we also got dinner there. This was some steak and potato dinner, a little salad there, and that sauce. This was probably the best dinner I had when I was there. The next day, we had a wine tour at this vineyard. Super cool, super authentic. We got to see how the white wine is made here, get the whole process on that board, and then also the red wine as well. We also got to see where they store their wine. They hold them in these barrels underground, very little light, temperature controlled. That was really cool to see. And then they also had walls and walls of wine bottle openers. And then at the wine tour, we liked the white wine so much we went and got a couple bottles before the bus picked us up. So that was a good way to close that tour out. And then we had our last group meal. Here's another kind of meat plate and some rice. We also went to the beach, but I figured out I didn't take a picture there. But that's kind of my digital story. I feel super grateful to be on this trip. I learned a ton, a lot about the culture. The people are very authentic and genuine, and we're very happy to have us there. trip of a lifetime, and always be thankful for it.